The revelation. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with an undercurrent of tension. Representatives from 100 different species filled the tiered seating, their forms as varied as the stars themselves. Some floated in anti-gravity fields, others sat on specially designed perches, while many occupied more conventional seats. The air was thick with a mixture of anticipation and unease. At the center of it all stood Ambassador Elena Chen, the sole human representative. She cut a striking figure in her crisp Navy uniform, adorned with the silver insignia of Earth's United Space Command. Her posture was relaxed, but her dark eyes scanned the room with quiet intensity, taking in every whispered conversation and sidelong glance. High Counselor Zixnareth, a towering insectoid being with iridescent wings and compound eyes that reflected the room in a kaleidoscope of images, called the session to order. The chamber fell into an uneasy silence. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, Zixnareth's voice reverberated through the hall, translated simultaneously into hundreds of languages. We convene today to address a matter of utmost urgency. Rumors have reached us of a weapon of unprecedented power developed in secret by our human allies. A ripple of murmurs swept through the assembly. Elena remained impassive, her gaze fixed on the High Counselor. Ambassador Chen, Zixnareth continued, compound eyes swiveling to focus on the human. You have been summoned to address these allegations. What say you to these claims? Elena stepped forward, her movements deliberate and unhurried. She activated a small device on her wrist, and a holographic display sprang to life above the central podium. The image depicted a sleek, angular vessel unlike anything the Council had seen before. Honored representatives of the Galactic Council, Elena's voice was calm and measured. I stand before you today not to deny these rumors, but to confirm them. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of shocked exclamations and angry outbursts. Zixnareth's wings buzzed in agitation as they called for order. Elena continued, her voice cutting through the din. What you see before you is the UES Prometheus, humanity's most advanced warship. We have indeed developed this vessel in secret, but not out of malice or desire for conquest. The Prometheus was born out of necessity, a shield to protect not just humanity, but all sentient life in our galaxy. Preposterous, bellowed Grokthar, the Ursan representative, his massive furry form rising from his seat. How can a weapon of such magnitude be anything but a threat to galactic peace? Elena turned to face the burr-like alien, her expression resolute. With respect, Counselor Grokthar, the universe is vast and full of unknown dangers. The Prometheus was designed to face threats beyond our current understanding, threats that could annihilate entire civilizations if left unchecked. And who gave humanity the right to unilaterally decide on facing such threats? Hissed Sulith, the serpentine Naga diplomat, her forked tongue flicking in agitation. No one gave us that right, Elena responded, her tone hardening. We took it upon ourselves because we had to. Because in the face of extinction, every alternative is preferable. The holographic image shifted, displaying schematics of the Prometheus. Its size dwarfed even the largest known battleships in the galaxy. Weapon systems unlike anything seen before were highlighted, along with energy readings that defied conventional understanding. The Prometheus, Elena explained, is more than just a warship. It's a mobile research station, a diplomatic hub, and an ark capable of preserving the genetic legacy of countless species. Its primary mission is to explore the farthest reaches of our galaxy, to seek out potential threats and neutralize them before they can harm any of our worlds. Zixnareth's antennae twitched in what Elena had come to recognize as a sign of deep thought. Ambassador Chen, while your words speak of noble intentions, the fact remains that humanity has violated several key tenets of the Galactic Accord. The development of superweapons without Council oversight is strictly forbidden. Elena nodded, acknowledging the point. We understand the gravity of our actions, High Counselor, but we also understood the potential consequences of inaction. The Prometheus was built with safeguards. Its command structure includes oversight from an AI that adheres strictly to ethical protocols agreed upon by a diverse panel of Earth's greatest minds. "And I," gasped Quanexi, the silicon-based representative of the crystalline lumina. "You would entrust such power to an artificial construct. The AI, which we call GAIA, is not in control of the Prometheus," Alina clarified. "It serves as an ethical checkpoint, ensuring that the ship's immense power is never misused. Every major decision requires both human authorization and JIA's ethical approval." The chamber descended into heated debates. Species that had long been allies found themselves at odds, while traditional rivals found common ground in their suspicion of humanity's new power. Amidst the chaos, a quiet voice spoke up. It belonged to Eliasana, the elderly representative of the Aetheri, a race of energy beings known for their wisdom and pacifism. "I would hear more," Eliasana said, her voice somehow cutting through the noise despite its softness. "Ambassador Chen, you speak of threats beyond our understanding. What drove humanity to take such drastic measures?" Alina's expression softened slightly. "Thank you, Counselor Eliasana. The truth is, we have detected anomalies at the edge of known space. Gravitational disturbances that don't match any known phenomena. Bursts of radiation with patterns that suggest artificial origin. And whispers." "Whispers?" Zixnarath queried, leaning forward. "Yes, High Counselor. Our most sensitive arrays have picked up what we believe to be communications, in frequencies we've never encountered before, using encryption that defies our best efforts to decipher. Something is out there, something vast and ancient, and awake." A hush fell over the assembly as the implications sank in. "Why did you not bring this information to the council?" Grokthar rumbled, his earlier anger replaced by a grudging curiosity. "Because we needed to be sure," Alina replied. "And because we knew that by the time we convinced the council to act, it might be too late. The Prometheus was our insurance policy, a way to be ready for whatever is coming." Zixnarath's wings rustled thoughtfully. "These are grave tidings, Ambassador Chen, but they do not excuse humanity's deception. The Council will need time to deliberate on this matter. In the meantime, we demand full access to the Prometheus for inspection." Alina shook her head. "With respect, High Counselor, that's not possible. The Prometheus is already on its maiden voyage. As we speak, it's heading towards the source of the anomalies we detected." The chamber once again erupted in outrage. Accusations of lies and manipulation flew from all corners. Silence. Zixnarath's voice boomed, amplified by the chamber's acoustics. Once order was restored, they turned back to Alina. "You send your ship to face an unknown threat without council approval. This is an outrage." "It was a necessary risk," Alina stated firmly. "Every moment we delay could be costly. The Prometheus is equipped with faster-than-light communication technology. We will relay all findings to the Council in real time." "And if this alleged threat turns out to be benign?" Slith inquired, scales shimmering with skepticism. "What then of your superweapon?" Alina's gaze swept across the chamber, meeting the eyes, eye stalks, and sensory organs of each representative in turn. "Then the Prometheus will serve as humanity's flagship in our ongoing mission of peaceful exploration. Its technology will be shared with all council races to be used for the betterment of all sentient life." A thoughtful murmur rippled through the assembly. Even those most opposed to humanity's actions couldn't deny the potential benefits of such advanced technology. Eliasana spoke again, her energy form pulsing gently. "I sense no deception in the ambassador's words. Perhaps, in their recklessness, our human friends have given us a gift, a means to face the unknown together." Zixnarath's antennae waved in agitation. "Be that as it may, this council cannot simply overlook such a flagrant violation of our laws. Ambassador Chen, you will remain here while we deliberate. We will need to establish new protocols, new oversight measures." The High Counselor's words were cut short as Alina's communicator chimed with an urgent tone. The human's eyes widened as she read the incoming message. "I'm afraid that we'll have to wait, High Counselor," Alina said, her voice tight with sudden tension. "We've just received a priority communication from the Prometheus. They've made first contact." The chamber fell into stunned silence as Alina activated her holographic projector once more. The image of the Prometheus flickered into view, but it was dwarfed by something else. Something massive, alien, and undeniably alive. As the Galactic Council stared in collective shock at humanity's first encounter with the unknown, Alina Chen allowed herself a small, grim smile. The age of comfortable ignorance was over. A new era had begun, and humanity, for better or worse, was at its forefront. The revelation was complete, but the true test was just beginning. The Helios unveiled. The holographic image hovering above the Galactic Council chamber pulsed with an otherworldly light. The vast form that dwarfed the Prometheus was unlike anything the assembled representatives had ever seen. It appeared to be a living ship, its surface rippling with bioluminescent patterns that seemed to form and dissolve in hypnotic sequences. Ambassador Alina Chen's voice cut through the stunned silence. "What you're seeing is a live feed from the Prometheus, transmitted via our new quantum entanglement communication system. The entity you see has not yet made any hostile moves, but neither has it responded to our attempts at communication." High Counselor Zixnaraf's compound eyes reflected the eerie light of the hologram. "Ambassador, I believe it's time you told us everything about this Prometheus of yours. No more half-truths or omissions." Alina nodded, her expression grave. "You're right, High Counselor. The ship you've known as the Prometheus has another name, one that we've kept secret until now. Its true designation is the UES Helios." She tapped a command into her wrist device, and the hologram shifted. The alien entity faded, replaced by a detailed schematic of the Helios. As the image rotated, gasps of awe and murmurs of concern rippled through the chamber. "The Helios," Alina began, her voice taking on a tone of pride tinged with caution, "is the culmination of humanity's scientific and engineering prowess. It's 3.5 kilometers long, with a crew of 5,000, though it can operate with as few as 50 thanks to its advanced AI systems." The hologram zoomed in on various sections of the ship as Alina spoke. "Its hull is composed of a metamaterial we call adamantine, which can adapt its properties in real time to counter various forms of attack. The ship is powered by a miniaturized star contained within a quantum bottle at its core." Grokthar, the Ursan representative, leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "A star? You're saying you've harnessed the power of a star?" Alina nodded. "A blue dwarf star, to be precise. It provides virtually limitless energy, allowing us to power systems that would be impossible with conventional energy sources." The hologram shifted again, focusing on what appeared to be weapon emplacements. "The Helios is armed with graviton cannons capable of disrupting the fabric of space-time itself. Its missile systems use miniaturized jump drives, allowing them to bypass traditional defenses." "Heslith?" The Naga diplomat hissed in alarm. "Such weapons could destroy entire star systems." "They could," Alina acknowledged, "which is why their use is governed by strict ethical protocols and oversight from GAIA, our shipboard AI." Eliasana, the Aetheri representative, pulsed with curiosity. "Tell us of this AI, Ambassador. How can you be certain it will not turn against its creators?" Alina's expression softened slightly. "GAIA is not just an artificial intelligence, but a quantum consciousness. It's been imbued with the collective wisdom and ethical frameworks of Earth's greatest philosophers, scientists, and leaders. It's not merely programmed to be ethical. It fundamentally understands and values the sanctity of life." The hologram shifted once more, displaying the interior of the Helios. Vast chambers filled with advanced laboratories, hydroponics bays, and what appeared to be habitats for various alien species came into view. "The Helios is more than a warship," Alina continued. "It's a ARC, a diplomatic hub, and a mobile research station. We've dedicated significant resources to xenobiology labs, cultural archives, and diplomatic facilities. Our goal is not just to defend against threats, but to foster understanding and cooperation with any new life we encounter. Zixnarat's antennae twitched thoughtfully. A noble goal, Ambassador, but it doesn't explain why humanity felt the need to undertake this project in secret. Alina's expression turned somber. The decision to build the Helios in secret was not made lightly. 5 years ago, our long-range sensors detected anomalies at the edge of known space. Gravitational disturbances, unusual radiation patterns, and whispers. The chamber fell silent, hanging on Alina's every word. These whispers, she continued, were unlike anything we'd ever encountered. They seemed to defy the laws of physics as we understand them. Our best linguists and cryptographers worked tirelessly to decipher them, but with limited success. What little we could understand, it was deeply troubling. What did these whispers say? Quan Exi of the Lumina asked, their crystalline form shimmering with anticipation. Alina's gaze swept across the chamber. They spoke of hunger, of consumption on a galactic scale, of civilizations risen and fallen over billions of years. We became convinced that something ancient and immensely powerful was stirring at the edge of our galaxy. Murmurs of alarm spread through the assembly. Alina raised a hand to quiet them. We brought our findings to a select group of council members, those we felt we could trust implicitly. But the response was underwhelming. We were told that without concrete evidence, no action could be taken, that the economic and political ramifications of preparing for a threat that might not exist were too great. Grokthar growled low in his throat. So humanity took matters into its own hands. Alina nodded. We did. We poured resources into the Helios project like never before. Our brightest minds worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of science and engineering. We made breakthroughs in physics, biology, and computer science that we hadn't dreamed possible. The hologram shifted again, showing a time-lapse of the Helios under construction in a massive orbital shipyard. We built the Helios in the asteroid belt, using automated factories and advanced camouflage technology to keep it hidden. Every component was manufactured in separate facilities to maintain secrecy. Only a handful of people knew the full scope of the project. As the assembled representatives watched the Helios take shape, a mix of emotions played across their alien features: awe at the technological achievement, fear of its potential for destruction, and anger at the deception warred for dominance. Zixnarat's wings buzzed softly. Ambassador Chen, while I cannot condone the secretive nature of this project, I must admit that the Helios is impressive. But what assurances can you offer that this power will not be misused? Alina's posture straightened, her voice filled with conviction. The Helios operates under a unique command structure. While it has a human captain and crew, all major decisions must be approved by both the captain and GAIA. Furthermore, we've included representatives from various Earth nations and ethical advisory boards in the crew complement. She paused, letting her words sink in. But we recognize that this may not be enough to allay the Council's concerns. That's why we're prepared to offer Council representation aboard the Helios. We invite you to send your own observers and ethical advisors to join the crew. A ripple of surprise ran through the chamber. Such an offer was unprecedented. Iliasana's energy form pulsed with approval. A wise proposal, Ambassador. It would allow for transparency while maintaining the ship's ability to act swiftly if needed. As the council members began to debate the merits of Alina's offer, alarms suddenly blared from her communication device. The hologram flickered, returning to the live feed from the Helios. The alien entity was moving, its massive form undulating in a way that defied conventional physics. Tendrils of energy began to extend from its surface, reaching towards the Helios. Alina's voice was tight with tension as she addressed the council. It seems our time for debate has run out. The entity is making its move. The Helios is humanity's sword and shield, but it stands ready to defend all sentient life in this galaxy. High Counselor, Members of the Galactic Council, I ask for your trust and your support. The future of all our civilizations may depend on it. As the Council watched in stunned silence, the Helios began to power up its systems, its hull shimmering with energy as it prepared to face the unknown. The age of humanity's hidden power was over. Now, before the eyes of the galaxy, it would be put to the test. Crisis at the frontier. The Galactic Council chamber was in uproar. The live feed from the Helios showed the massive alien entity extending its luminous tendrils towards the human ship. Ambassador Elena Chen's voice cut through the chaos, her tone commanding attention. High Counselor, esteemed representatives, I urge you to remain calm. The Helios was built for this very moment. Captain Arcturus and the crew are highly trained and prepared for first contact scenarios, even potentially hostile ones. Zixnareth's compound eyes reflected the shifting lights of the hologram. Ambassador, your ship faces an unknown entity of immense power. How can you be so certain of its capabilities? Belena's expression was grim but determined. Because we've spent years preparing for this, High Counselor. The Helios is more than a match for any threat we could conceive of. And right now, it's our best hope for understanding what we're dealing with. The hologram shifted, splitting to show both the exterior view of the confrontation and the bridge of the Helios. A stern-faced woman with close-cropped silver hair stood at the center, her piercing blue eyes focused on the tactical displays before her. That's Captain Samira Arcturus, Elena explained, one of Earth's most decorated officers and a brilliant tactician. She's been involved in the Helios project from its inception. On the screen, Captain Arcturus's voice rang out clear and steady. All hands, battle stations, raise quantum shields, power up the graviton cannons, but do not fire unless I give the order. GIA, initiate first contact protocols. A soft, androgynous voice responded, seemingly from everywhere at once. Understood, Captain. Initiating first contact protocols. Attempting multi-spectrum communication with the entity. The alien being's tendrils of energy continued to reach out, now mere kilometers from the Helios. The ship's hull shimmered as its shields came to life, a barely visible barrier of distorted space separating it from the unknown threat. In the council chamber, Grokthar growled low in his throat. This is madness. That ship should retreat, not engage. We know nothing about this entity's capabilities or intentions. Elena shook her head. Retreating now could be seen as an act of aggression or fear. The Helios is humanity's best chance at establishing peaceful contact. If that fails, it's our best defense. On the screen, the alien entity's tendrils made contact with the Helios' shields. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then suddenly, the ship's energy readings spiked dramatically. Captain, JIA's voice reported, the entity appears to be probing our shields with some form of exotic energy. It's unlike anything in our databases. Shield integrity is holding, but the energy patterns are unusual. Captain Arcturus's eyes narrowed. Unusual how, GAIA? The energy seems to be carrying information, Captain. It's not just a probe. It might be an attempt at communication. In the council chamber, Eliasana's energy form pulsed with excitement. Fascinating. It seems this entity's very touch is a form of language. Elena nodded, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. This is why we built the Helios, not just as a weapon, but as a tool for understanding. GAIA's quantum processors are designed to analyze and interpret forms of communication we can't even conceive of. On the Helios's bridge, Captain Arcturus made a decision. GAIA, lower shields on my mark. Prepare to receive the entity's energy directly into your isolated quantum core. Captain, her first officer protested. That's incredibly risky. We don't know what that energy could do to our systems. Arcturus's gaze was steely. Sometimes, Commander, we have to take risks to make peace. GAIA's isolated core can handle it, and if things go wrong, we can always raise the shields again. Mark. The shimmering barrier around the Helios flickered and vanished. Immediately, the entity's tendrils made contact with the ship's hull. Energy coursed through the vessel, lights flickering as power was redirected. In the council chamber, Alina held her breath along with the assembled representatives. For several tense moments, nothing seemed to happen. Then, GAIA's voice filled both the Helios's bridge and the council chamber. Contact established. Processing. This is extraordinary. The entity is not just a single being, but a collective consciousness. Billions of minds, joined in a vast, living network. They call themselves the Confluence. Murmurs of astonishment rippled through the council. Alina leaned forward, her voice urgent. GAIA, what are their intentions? Are they a threat? There was a pause before GAIA responded. They are curious, cautious. They have encountered other spacefaring races before, but none with technology like ours. They're trying to determine if we're a threat to them. Captain Arcturus straightened her uniform. GAIA, can you establish two-way communication? Affirmative, Captain. I can translate our thoughts and words into their energy language. Arcturus nodded. Do it. This is Captain Samira Arcturus of the United Earth ship Helios. We come in peace, seeking knowledge and friendship. We mean you no harm. The energy tendrils pulsed with new patterns. GAIA translated. They acknowledge our peaceful intentions, but they're concerned. They sense the Helios's power, its potential for destruction. They want to know why we built such a ship if we come in peace. In the council chamber, Zixnerath's antennae twitched nervously. A fair question. How will your captain answer, Ambassador? Alina's gaze was fixed on the holographic display. Honestly, High Counselor, it's the only way. On the Helios's bridge, Captain Arcturus took a deep breath. We built the Helios because we were afraid. We detected signs of ancient, powerful forces stirring in the galaxy, and we wanted to be prepared. But the Helios is more than a weapon. It's a ship of exploration, of science, of diplomacy. We seek to understand the universe and protect all life within it, including yours. There was a tense pause as GAIA translated the message. The energy tendrils rippled with new patterns, more complex than before. GAIA's voice was filled with what almost sounded like awe. They understand. More than that, they approve. The Confluence says they've been watching our galaxy for eons, waiting for a species to emerge that could comprehend them, that could potentially join them. Gasps of shock echoed through the council chamber. Alina's eyes widened. Join them. What do they mean? On the Helios's bridge, Captain Arcturus asked the same question. GAIA translated the Confluence's response. They speak of a great joining, a melding of consciousness and technology. They believe humanity, with our creation of GAIA and the Helios, might be ready for such a union. But they also warn of a grave threat, one that has been consuming galaxies for billions of years. They call it the Devourers. A chill seemed to sweep through both the Helios and the council chamber. Captain Arcturus's voice was steady as she asked, These Devourers, are they the source of the whispers we detected? The energy tendrils pulsed an affirmative. GAIA translated. Yes. The Devourers are ancient and patient. They seed young galaxies with their essence, waiting for civilizations to rise and fall, feeding on the psychic echoes of their triumphs and tragedies. Our galaxy is nearing the harvest. In the council chamber, panic began to spread. Species that had been at odds moments before now huddled together in fear. Alina's voice cut through the chaos. This is why we built the Helios. Not just for humanity, but for all sentient life. We stand ready to face this threat, but we can't do it alone. We need the wisdom and strength of the Confluence, and the united will of the Galactic Council. High Counselor Zixnerath's wings buzzed as they considered Alina's words. Ambassador Chen, it seems your people's reckless ambition may have inadvertently prepared us for a threat beyond imagining. What do you propose? Alina's gaze swept the chamber, meeting the eyes and sensory organs of each representative in turn. I propose an alliance. Humanity, the Galactic Council, and the Confluence, united against the Devourers. The Helios was built in secret, but it will defend us all openly." As murmurs of agreement began to spread through the chamber, the hologram shifted. The Confluence's energy tendrils had fully enveloped the Helios, not in an attack, but in what appeared to be an embrace. Captain Arcturus's voice rang out, filled with determination. "This is the moment we've prepared for. Not just the defense of Earth, but the protection of all sentient life. The Helios stands ready. Together, we will face the darkness that comes." As the Galactic Council erupted into a flurry of activity, alliances forming and strategies being debated, Alina allowed herself a small smile. The crisis at the frontier had become a crucible, forging the unity that might just be powerful enough to save them all. The Helios, humanity's secret weapon, had become a beacon of hope for the entire galaxy. The real battle was yet to come, but for the first time, they had a fighting chance. Battle beyond the stars. The vast expanse of space at the galaxy's edge shimmered with unnatural energies. The UES Helios, now joined by a fleet of ships from various Galactic Council races, hung in formation alongside the massive, ethereal form of the Confluence. Before them, reality itself seemed to warp and twist. On the bridge of the Helios, Captain Samira Arcturus stood resolute, her steely gaze fixed on the tactical hologram. "Gaia, status report." The AI's calm voice filled the bridge. "The dimensional rift is expanding at an exponential rate, Captain. Sensors are detecting massive energy signatures emerging. They match the patterns the Confluence warned us about. The Devourers are coming." Ambassador Elena Chen, who had insisted on being present for this historic moment, felt a chill run down her spine. The holographic communications array showed the faces of the Galactic Council representatives, each wearing an expression of grim determination. High Counselor Zixneref's compound eyes reflected the eerie light of the rift. "Captain Arcturus, the combined fleet stands ready. May the stars grant us victory." Arcturus nodded. "Thank you, High Counselor. All ships, battle formation Delta. Prepare to engage on my mark." The rift pulsed, and through it came horrors beyond imagination. Vast, shadowy forms that seemed to drink in the light around them. Tentacles of pure darkness reaching out hungrily towards the assembled fleet. By the cosmic core, Braith Grokthar, the Ursan representative. "There, abominations." Elena's voice was steady as she addressed the council. "This is what we prepared for. The Helios may have been built in secret, but today it fights for us all." Captain Arcturus's commands rang out clear and precise. "Graviton cannons, target the lead Devourer. JIA, initiate quantum entanglement shields. All hands, brace for impact." The Helios's hull shimmered as layers of distorted space enveloped it. From its bow, lances of concentrated gravitational force shot forth, bending space-time itself as they streaked towards the monstrous entity emerging from the rift. The impact was catastrophic. Where the graviton beams struck, the Devourer's form rippled and distorted, parts of it seeming to collapse in on themselves. But the creature was far from defeated. It lashed out with tendrils of darkness that seemed to absorb everything they touched. "Evasive maneuvers," Arcturus ordered. The Helios moved with impossible grace for a ship its size, the inertial dampeners straining as it dodged the Devourer's attack. Meanwhile, the rest of the fleet engaged the other emerging entities. Lumina crystal ships fired beams of coherent light that burned through the darkness. Ursan dreadnoughts launched salvos of antimatter warheads, while Naga vessels danced through the chaos, their plasma weapons carving swaths through the enemy ranks. The Confluence pulsed with energy, its consciousness reaching out to touch the minds of the fleet crews, coordinating their efforts with inhuman precision. On the Helios's bridge, alarms blared. "Captain," JIA reported, 3 Devourers are converging on our position. Their combined psychic output is interfering with our quantum shields." Arcturus's mind raced. "GAIA, redirect power from non-essential systems to the shield matrix." Prepare to fire the solar lance. Elena's eyes widened. The solar lance. But that's untested technology. No time like the present, Ambassador. Arcturus replied grimly. Sometimes you have to roll the dice. She turned to her weapons officer. Target the center devourer. Fire when ready. The Helios's hull split open along predetermined seams, revealing a massive cannon that glowed with the intensity of a star. For a moment, the battle seemed to pause as all eyes turned to the human ship. Then, with a flash that outshone supernovas, the solar lance fired. A beam of pure stellar plasma, contained and directed by magnetic fields of impossible strength, lanced out across space. It struck the lead devourer dead center, and for a moment, the creature's darkness was consumed by light. When the glare faded, where 3 devourers had been, now there was only empty space, littered with rapidly cooling plasma. A cheer went up across the communication channels, but Arcturus remained focused. Good shot, but there's plenty more where that came from. Gaia, how long until the lance can fire again? Recharge will take approximately 15 minutes, Captain. The containment systems need time to cool down. Arcturus nodded. Then we do this the old-fashioned way. All batteries, fire at will. Launch Nemesis drones. From the Helios's hangar bays, swarms of autonomous drones burst forth. Each was equipped with a miniaturized jump drive, allowing them to blink in and out of existence, appearing inside the Devourer's defenses to deliver devastating strikes. The battle raged on, a symphony of destruction on a cosmic scale. The Devourers fought with the cunning of eons, their eldritch powers warping reality itself. But the combined fleet, guided by the Confluence's vast intelligence and spearheaded by the Helios's advanced technology, held their ground. Hours passed, feeling like both an eternity and an instant. The Helios fired its solar lance twice more, each time turning the tide when all seemed lost. The Confluence's energy form expanded, creating bubbles of protected space where damaged ships could retreat and repair. Finally, as the last Devourer fell to a combined assault from the Helios and a squadron of Lumina ships, an eerie silence fell over the battlefield. Captain Arcturus slumped slightly in her chair, exhaustion etched on her face. Gaia. Status report. The dimensional rift is closing, Captain. No further Devourer signatures detected. However, the conflict has caused significant damage to the local space-time fabric. It will take approximately 3.7 years for it to fully stabilize. In the council chamber, the representatives stared at the holographic display in stunned silence. It was Eliasana who spoke first, her energy form pulsing with a mix of awe and sorrow. The cost was high, but we have prevailed. The galaxy owes a debt to humanity and to the Helios. High Counselor Zixnarath's antennae twitched in agreement. Indeed. Ambassador Chen, it seems we owe you an apology. Your people's foresight and the power of the Helios have saved us all. Elena bowed her head slightly. The victory belongs to all of us, High Counselor. The Helios may be a human ship, but today it fought for every sentient being in the galaxy. As the gravity of their victory began to sink in, Captain Arcturus's voice came through the comm channel. This battle is won, but the war may not be over. The Devourers have existed for eons. We must remain vigilant. The Confluence's thoughts echoed in everyone's minds, translated by J.I.A. The human speaks wisely. This was but one incursion. The Devourers will return, perhaps not for millennia, but they will come. We must use this time to prepare, to unite, to evolve. As the combined fleet began the long journey home, the Helios took point, its advanced sensors scanning for any lingering threats. The ship that had been built in secret, that had caused so much controversy, had proven its worth beyond any doubt. The battle beyond the stars was over, but a new chapter in galactic history was just beginning. Humanity, once seen as upstarts and potential threats, had become the vanguard of a new era of cooperation and preparedness. As Elena looked out at the starfield, Scared by the epic battle they had just survived, she allowed herself a small smile. The Helios had been unveiled, tested in fire, and emerged victorious. Whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together as a united galaxy. A new era dawns. The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Council was packed to capacity. Representatives from every member species crowded the tiered seating, their attention fixed on the central podium. The air thrummed with a mixture of excitement, apprehension, and hope. At the center of it all stood Ambassador Elena Chen, her posture straight and proud in her formal diplomatic attire. Beside her, Captain Samira Arcturus cut an impressive figure in her dress uniform, adorned with new commendations. The holographic form of GAIA shimmered nearby, a visual representation of the Eye's presence. High Counselor Zixnarath called the session to order, their compound eyes sweeping across the assembly. Esteemed representatives, we convene today to address the monumental events that have reshaped our galaxy. The battle against the Devourers has left an indelible mark on us all. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Zixnarath continued, "We owe our continued existence to the combined efforts of every species present, to the ancient wisdom of the confluence, and—" they paused, antennae twitching, "to the foresight and technological prowess of humanity." All eyes turned to Elena and the Helios crew. Elena stepped forward, her voice clear and steady. "High Counselor, honored representatives, we stand before you not to claim glory, but to reaffirm our commitment to galactic peace and cooperation. The Helios was built in secrecy, yes, but it has proven to be a shield for all sentient life." Captain Arcturus spoke next, her tone carrying the weight of command. "The recent battle was won, but as the confluence has warned us, the war is far from over. The Devourers will return, perhaps not for millennia, but they will come. We must use this time wisely." Gaia's holographic form pulsed gently as the AI added, "Our analysis of the battle data, combined with the knowledge shared by the confluence, has opened up new avenues of scientific and technological advancement. We stand ready to share these discoveries with all council races." A ripple of excitement passed through the assembly. Grokthar, the Ursan representative, leaned forward. "Are you proposing to share the Helios' technology freely? Even the weapons systems?" Elena nodded. "With proper safeguards and oversight, yes. The Helios was humanity's sword and shield, but moving forward, it must belong to all of us. We propose the formation of a new joint task force, with representatives from all council races, to oversee the development and deployment of these technologies." Eliasana's energy form pulsed with approval. "A wise proposal, Ambassador. Unity and diversity has always been the strength of this council. Now, more than ever, we must stand together." High Counselor Zixnarath's wings buzzed thoughtfully. "Indeed. But this new era will require more than just technological cooperation. We must reassess our governmental structures, our methods of diplomacy, our very way of life in the face of this cosmic threat." Elena smiled, a glimmer of excitement in her eyes. "We couldn't agree more, High Counselor. That's why we're proposing the establishment of a new galactic defense and exploration initiative. The GDEI would serve as a unified command structure for our combined fleets, a research body for new technologies, and a diplomatic court for engaging with new forms of life we may encounter." The chamber erupted in a flurry of discussions. Species that had been rivals for centuries found themselves excitedly exchanging ideas. The lumina crystalline forms shimmered as they debated the potential applications of solar lance technology with Naga plasma experts. As the excitement settled, Silith, the serpentine Naga diplomat, raised a concern. "This all sounds promising, but what of the confluence? How do they fit into this new galactic order?" As if on cue, a shimmering portal of energy appeared in the center of the chamber. Through it stepped a humanoid figure composed of swirling light and color, an avatar of the confluence. Its voice, somehow both singular and multitudinous, filled the chamber. "We have observed your kind for eons, waiting for the day when you might be ready to join us in the great cosmic dance. That day has come sooner than we anticipated, spurred by necessity and the ingenuity of humanity. The Avatar turned, seeming to make eye contact with every being in the room simultaneously. We offer our knowledge, our guidance, and our partnership, but we do not seek to rule or dominate. This galaxy's future must be shaped by all who call it home. High Counselor Zix-Narath's antennae quivered with emotion. On behalf of the Galactic Council, we accept your offer with gratitude. The road ahead will not be easy, but together we can forge a future brighter than any of us could have imagined. Elena stepped forward once more. The Helios was built because humanity dreamed of a ship that could face any challenge, explore any frontier. Now, that dream has expanded. Together, we can build a galactic civilization that can weather any storm, unravel any mystery, and reach heights we've only begun to imagine. Captain Arcturus nodded, adding, "The Helios will lead the way, not as a weapon of war, but as a beacon of hope and unity. Its next mission will be one of exploration, seeking out new life and new civilizations, expanding our understanding of the cosmos." Gaia's holographic form expanded, displaying a map of the galaxy with countless points of light representing unexplored regions. The universe is vast and full of wonders and dangers, but together we are greater than the sum of our parts. The age of division is over. The age of unity has begun. As the council chamber filled with cheers and applause, Elena felt a profound sense of pride and hope. The revelation of the Helios had been a gamble, one born of fear and necessity. But it had led to this moment, the dawn of a new era of galactic cooperation. The threat of the Devourers still loomed in the distant future, a shadow on the edge of thought. But as Elena looked around at the assembled representatives of a united galaxy, she knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. The Helios, once a secret weapon, had become a symbol of unity, of the indomitable spirit of sentient life. As the ship prepared for its next journey into the unknown, it carried with it the hopes and dreams of countless beings across the galaxy. A new age had dawned, one of exploration, discovery, and unity. And humanity, once the newcomers, now stood at its forefront, ready to help guide the galaxy into a brighter future. As the council session adjourned and plans for the future began in earnest, Elena shared a knowing look with Captain Arcturus and the shimmering form of Gaia. Their journey had only just begun, and the stars beckoned, full of promise and possibility. The Helios had been unveiled, and with it, a new chapter in galactic history had been written. Whatever lay beyond the stars, they would face it together, united in purpose and spirit, a shining beacon of hope in the vast cosmic ocean.